Shut your mouths, I'm talking.
This triple threat tag team elimination match hits Holidead and Siren the Voodoo doll. My goodness, what a vicious spinebuster against Havok and Hazard, the monsters of madness. She just throws her out like a sack of potato chips. And fire and adrenaline.
She goes up for a drop kick against the two of them.
It's the match we've all been waiting for.
Hey, what up, everybody? So I gotta say, I'm extremely sorry I was not able to put out this episode as I usually do before the episode airs. We're talking episode 10 of season 2 of Wild Women of Wrestling on Access TV. I was a little bit under the weather, but it's okay because we're now going to do something that I typically haven't done, and we're going to just talk spoilers about episode 10. And then talk just a tad bit about episode 11. So, hopefully everyone did get a chance to watch it this weekend. It aired November 16th on the usual Access TV at the 8 p.m. slot. And again, this is full spoilers of anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Like I said, I typically just try to give you a little premise of what to expect on the episode, keep it spoiler free, and just get you hyped for the episode. But again, since I was unable to put out the episode beforehand, a little bit under the weather, let's just talk about the episode in spoilers, since now that it has aired, I'm a little bit behind and so forth. So, so let's get started. But yeah, so this episode had really a lot to do with payback and redemption. A lot of the matches that's built on this card. We're in the previous cards. There was a lot at stake. There was it was payback as far as that. It may be like one match or so, but this entire card was really based on that, if you ask me, on payback and redemption. But let's just go down each of the matches, 4 matches as usual on each card, and we'll kind of break down what happened and the conclusion and so forth. So the first match you started off with was the governor's daughter, Abilene Maverick, who, I guess she's recovered from a neck injury, and she'll be tagging with the Disciplinarian, who's managed by the IQ superior Samantha Smart, and they will be taking on the Bully Busters, Stephy, Slay, and Keta Rush. Now, the thing about it is that this match was okay. So, the Bully Busters had some friction a little bit because of some, in previous episodes, because of some disappointment. But they are back. They are fully on the same team. They're cohesive and they're ready to go. And, when it comes down to Abilene Maverick being the common interest here, I mean, that's enough to put everybody on the same page. But, Abilene got out of a match before with Keta Rush, and the Disciplinarian was able to step up in her place and, ultimately scored the win. But now you have tag team action here, so they finally do get to brush each other a little bit now, finally, after the weeks of dodging and the fake injury and so forth. But I gotta say this too. I know Abilene has been somebody to like fake injuries or just kind of slide her way out of matches, but when she does wrestle, she is absolutely one of the best on the Wild roster. Period. She's very technical, sound, and a lot of her execution with just old school wrist locks and just keeping maintaining some type of contact with her opponent, ultimately giving her the leverage. So no matter what you want to think about her as far as this being being a weasel and so forth, she's absolutely one of the best to be in the ring. But this match, I was just disappointed, especially with the finish. The finish was just absolutely sloppy to me. It was a botch finish where there was a sunset flip with Stephy Slay ultimately going over the Disciplinarian, but the ref, Jeremy Marcus, I don't know what happened, and even the replay commentary was kind of confused too. There was a 1-2 in the polls on a 3, and then there was a little bit of confusion if it actually was a 3. But ultimately, it felt like a 5 count. But nonetheless, after weeks of disappointment, Stephy Slay and Keta Rush was able to pull one together to get a victory. And Abilene was not happy at all, and she ultimately quit this working partnership that they had. So yeah, that was just the end of that. But yeah, like I said, the match was just a little bit off to me. It just wasn't it just wasn't as flush as it could have been, considering all the parties that's in stake with there. So the next match we have is Jessie Jones and Amber O'Neal versus the Dixie Darling, Jolene and Jolynn. Now, if you've seen last week, we know that Jessie Jones and Amber O'Neal, they were kind of swindled. Well, not swindled. They were just underprepared in their last match because somebody had stole their boots. And sure, you know, having your grip under your foot, and you know, as far as with really good boots that, you know, keep your ankle in place, keep it from sliding, all this so forth. I mean, it did put you at a disadvantage. That's why everyone wears them. But yeah, the Southern Bells, they after the match, they were determined to figure out who stole their equipment, and they ended up running into who they figured out it much was in the first place, in the Dixie Darlings. And this week they were able to get their payback, as this fast was made officially a tag team action match. So Jessie Jones and Amber O'Neal, they clearly had the veterans' preference here in this match. I mean, Jessie Jones, I really feel, is like one of the most technical sound superheroes on the Wild roster. I mean, her array of submission holds that she can just use at any time makes her super dangerous. And even, you know, picking up the victory in this match over, you know, well, I would say the newcomers of the Dixie Darling, the Southern Bells were they talk their trash, but they back it up, and she applied the vicious armbar submission on Jolene, and it was just like that. It was over. I mean, even with them having a lot of the momentum, just like that, she could slap on an armbar and it's over. But let it be very clear that the one thing that the Dixie Darlings had to do in this match, and they didn't, was to stay focused, and they had to not make no mistakes. And that's what they did. They got the celebrating, and the hesitation ultimately cost them the match. Now, the other thing with Jessie Jones is she's just fire on mic. But I gotta tell you, no matter if she's right or wrong, I mean, she was the Southern Bells were just absolutely just, they were I keep calling them the Southern Bells. Southern Pride is the name of the tag team. This was a Southern Bells fight, shall I say. A fight of the Southern Bells, shall I say. Southern Pride, I have to say that, you know, even with them, you know, losing last week and ultimately costing them a spot in the Wild World Tag Team Championship tournament, you know, because somebody decided to intervene and, you know, put them at a disadvantage, and they wanted retaliation, they did so, and then they won. The crowd still hate them. Like, the crowd boos them out the gym, even though they were the right ones in the place to be mad about the situation. So I really think that's really interesting, and I get it. But Jessie Jones is just so good to me as far as the mic skills and then her ring work that it's kind of hard to, like, not want to root for somebody, especially when, you know, they were, you know, again, they were cheated out of their win last week. So, you know. So the next match is with Faith the Lioness, accompanied by Lana Star, and, you know, let's talk about, before we talk about her. Well, her opponent is the all-natural Khloe Hurtz, but let's talk about the Lioness for a quick second. So Lioness last week was in that ring for a total less than a minute against the Angry Beast, and that was clearly a squash match. But let's not get it twisted. The Lioness has been really given very good opportunities this entire season. She's progressively getting better and better, and I mean, she's literally a Swiss Army knife, because she has so much talent. And in the beginning of this match, you got to see she put on a concert, and you see she got the dance moves, the vocal skills, she has the gymnast background, she has the martial arts background, and she's put on some really good matches. She took Tessa Blanchard to her very limit and came up short. She's really good. And even having somebody with a veteran preference such as Lana Star, lover or hater, she's a former champ. Under her tutelage, this is going to only make her better and better. But after suffering the defeat like she did last week with the Beast, I would have liked to see her come back this week and be really focused. And I think the concert, to me, just felt like a little bit of a distraction, because it's really this was really the opportunity for her to get right back on the right trail and continue to stay continue to stay a competitor, and chase Tessa Blanchard for the championship. So this win is very pivotal for her. While at the same token, the all-natural Khloe Hurtz, I mean, to be honest, with her ring rats, either with or without them, she just can't buy a win. And this is somebody else, too, that really needs to refocus as well, too, with all the distractions that she's having and so forth. But ultimately, Lana Star said if the Lioness wants to get on the right track, she needs to do it the Lana Star way. Now, cool. Of course, it's the Lioness doing the work in the ring, but Lana's, of course, the Lioness doing the work in the ring, but Lana Star really, really helped her out here. She distracted Khloe Hurtz by showing her a mirror. The Khloe Hurtz loves her glamour. She had to make sure that she was all on point. Hell, some hair even fell out in this match, so I know she wanted to make sure that she was all good. But yeah, after looking at that mirror, she actually ate that mirror because Lana Star made sure it went right over the back of her head, and it ultimately was the distraction needed for the Lioness to pick up the win and get her back on the right track. So ultimately, it was a good match. I just think that if I want to take the Lioness more serious, because she's absolutely a future world champion, I would have liked to see her come out with a more serious tone, more direct and focused. But a win's a win, and that's all that matters, and we'll see what we get from her in the future weeks coming up.
In the WoW Tag Team Championship, the Monsters of Madness, Hazard and Havok, beat out Chantilly Chella and Sassy Massey to take their place as the last team in the semifinals of the Tag Team Championship Series.
And advancing, the Monsters of Madness!
Tonight, Holidead and Siren the Voodoo Doll, Havok and Hazard, the Monsters of Madness, and Adrenaline and Fire face each other in the ring for a triple threat tag team elimination match. 2 teams will move forward and 1 will be eliminated. Which teams have what it takes to advance to the WoW Tag Team Championship Finals? Find out tonight in our main event.
The next match in the main event we have is a really unique match. We have a triple threat 3-way elimination main event, which is going to feature the Monsters of Madness, Havok and Hazard, Holidead and Siren of Voodoo, and Adrenaline and Fire. Now, as we know, all 3 of these people have, worked their way through the tournament, through the WoW World Tag Team Championship Tournament, and ultimately is going to crown new champions. But I guess because I didn't really analyze how the bracket was done, I thought it was eventually just going to just be a one-on-one. But whatever, we have 3 tag teams here, and whomever is eliminated from this match is done, and the other 2 are going to move on to next week for the championship match. So what this basically means is that whoever team takes the pin is out, period. And I haven't seen this done in a while, so it was really cool. It had really, this match had everything: speed, power, just technique, a lot of cohesiveness in the tag teams, a lot of experience. The standouts for me, although Holidead took the pin from Havok, Holidead is unworldly strong. Unworldly strong. Very, very powerful. Very, very good. I've seen her wrestle from all over, but completely was just the standout, even in defeat. Very, very impressed. Adrenaline and Fire is the tag team that everyone knew they were going to be, and absolutely it's going to be an interesting match come next week. And they, again, even, not picking up the pin, so to say, but not eliminated, as a team, they look to be prepared. But they're going to have to put it all together, on all cylinders, if they're going to want to beat the Monsters of Madness, Havok and Hazard. Because with Hazard, with Havok and her air raid crash, such a powerful finisher that's put so many people down, and the way how she was just able to hit it in a reversal reversal technique out of nowhere, so to say, that can prove to be very deadly. And considering that she hoisted up Holidead with no problem, the smaller adrenaline fire is just going to make the path just a little bit easier for him. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So look, let's you guys, I'm gonna show you a preview of next week's episode right after this. But I gotta say, unless you guys didn't realize, this is the first episode. There was no Tessa, there was no Jungle Girl, there was no Beast. So next week is the conclusion of the season finale in episode 11. So I can imagine it's gonna be a lot at stake. We're gonna get some really pivotal matches, and you guys can find out watching the preview right now.
I trained my whole life for this.
Step in the ring with me.
What is going on in here?
I'm coming for the Wild Championship title.
That could be it. Flying senton. A fireman's carry. Death Valley driver. Oh, look at that kick. And she just tosses her across the ring like a sack of potato chips.
You think you're the best?
Vamos, let's go.
Big go back.